Today, I'm not feeling confident as an artist slash junk journaler. How do I deal with that? Stay tuned to find out. Welcome, it's Barbara from Vienna, Austria. I have not filmed a video for a few days, and I had prepared last night for a video I was going to film today. But I've been procrastinating all afternoon and just couldn't bring myself to film that video. I realized then that it was because I had lost my confidence in just a few days. I'm not sure how or where. I backtracked my steps, but I just couldn't find it laying around anywhere. So what did I decide to do? One option would have been to suck it up and to film the video anyway that I had planned to film. I guess it would have been fine in the end and you would have probably never known. But then I decided I will first write about this experience. I hoped I would feel better if I got it out of my system. After all, what are our junk journals for? Yes, it's great to collage in them and decorate them up and adding sentiments and all of that. But I was recently reminded by a video by Susanne from Bollenhut Art, who is also one of my very talented design team members, that our junk journals can be so much more. I will link Susanne's video below for you. It is in German, but you can still enjoy it since she's showing some flip-throughs of her own journals in which she has worked in. I was so inspired by the way she journals, and it reminded me that I have been completely neglecting that part of junk journaling, and I want to do more of it. Also, I don't want to film any inauthentic videos. So I took this journal, which is a beautiful journal that I bought from Nadia. I will again link her Instagram below. There's a flip through of this. I will maybe link that down for you below as well in case you haven't seen it. It is an absolute beauty and I love working in it. So this is the journal. I have been filming my ASMR videos. Now I'm not going to give you a flip through of what I've done so far, but I do want to show you what I just did a moment ago. So I decided, as I said, I wanted to journal about this experience that I had just now before starting to film, and I wrote about it. I'm not going to read it because I feel this is quite personal, which is why I wanted to cover it up, and which is why sometimes it's hard if you're making videos about how you're journaling in your book. Some of your thoughts are private and you don't want the whole world to see everything. So sometimes that is a bit challenging, but of course, if I do it in this way, I think it's totally fine. So I covered it with this piece of paper, which is a scrap I had left over from a digital kit from Luise Heinzel, who is another one of my very talented design team members. And I just made this very quick collage, made this dragonfly die cut and put down these scraps and then put the be authentic here because I thought that was very fitting for how I'm feeling right now. I'm showing here my vulnerable side, which is not easy as a creator. And I decided rather than just trying to push through to make a video, I'm just gonna work in this journal and just see what happens. I don't have specific plans for what I'm going to do on these pages. And this might be an exception. I don't know how often I'm going to work in this journal as a non-ASMR video because this is kind of like my journal for ASMRs. I'm really enjoying those. And I hope some of you are too. But I wanted to make an exception. I feel like working in this journal. And there's two reasons I wanted to take you along. One is because, as I said, I don't want to be unauthentic, and so I wanted to show you how I would journal when I don't feel confident, to show you that also we as creators don't always have fabulous days where we feel so creative and we just jump right into it. We have days as well where we're not feeling it, and it's not that I don't feel like journaling, it's just that I'm not feeling confident about my skills and coming on a video. So I wanted to share that Because I can imagine that some of you, if you don't journal every day, if this is not an everyday practice, that sometimes you don't feel confident to journal in your journal, even though you're not even doing it on camera. But just to have the courage to do something creative, because you could fail, right? Like you could completely mess up a page, be unhappy, and then maybe even feel worse than you did before you started journaling. So this is the main reason why I wanted to come on camera and do this, because I think the best way to deal with it is to just journal anyway and see what happens. And even if we don't love our pages in the end, it will remind us of what we went through at the time of journaling. And maybe it'll turn into an ugly page, but it will be a document of something that you felt at that time, which I think is very valuable. So this is what I'm trying to do in here today. That was a very long intro, and I apologize. I hope you're still here. I would love to hear in the comments below if you can relate to anything that I just said. Do you have these days where you don't feel confident to work in your journal or to do some sort of other art? And if you do, how do you deal with it? Do you just ignore it and press on? Or do you just not journal? Do you write a lot in your journal, or what do you do? I would really be interested to know how you deal with it. And I will let you know at the end of this session if I feel better. I'll tell you if it's worth to just do it anyway and see what happens. By the way, what I'm doing here is I have this block that I got at the hardware store with these, what are these called? Washers, I think, that I glued on. And I love using this as a stamp. And I just added this, I call it speckled egg, also known as jade green, but it's more blue than green. So I'm just going to stamp this on my page because this is something I can do even not feeling confident because I can't go wrong with that, really. So I think it's nice to do maybe some mindless things. I mean, the writing is good. I might do some more writing. I don't know yet. But I kind of feel like the important thing that I wanted to get out is here. So that already made me feel better. But I also think it's good to just do some mindless things without having huge expectations of the turnout. Like, I don't have a picture in my mind of the finished page. I don't even know, am I gonna be working on this page? Or is this it and I'm gonna move on to another page? I don't know at this point, nor does it matter. What I do care about at this moment is that I do something. Because for me, I think if I don't do anything now, if I just kind of ignore it, I'm probably gonna feel even worse and feel less confident than I do right now. So I think I'm gonna let this dry. Next, I took this stencil and I think I wanna add some of this pattern just randomly, and I'm gonna use the color Warm Gray. While I was looking through my stencils, I also found this one, which I haven't used in years. I have no idea where I got this from. And it's kind of big for my page. I do love the idea of the heart though, because it reminds me to be kind to myself, especially in situations like these, where instinctively I would put pressure on myself, but actually what I need right now is to be kind to myself. So that's why I want this heart somehow on my page. So what I thought I could do instead is to put this on a double book page right in the middle, and then I could attach it. I could like fold it and attach it, and maybe even write on the back side or on the inside or something like that. We'll see. We'll figure that out in the next stage. So I'm just gonna grab some gesso. I'm going to do this with my gesso from Golden because it is thicker than my cheap gesso. And I think for a stencil, it's probably better to use a thicker gesso. So I can already see this heart is it's not equal on both sides. So I might not use the shape as it is, but I might just stencil it and then cut out an equal shape. Otherwise, I think it's going to be difficult to like fold it. We'll see. And I think just putting paint down or stamping or things like that are very therapeutic. Like, you don't have to think a lot. You just put stuff down. Doodling also, I think, is great to do in situations like this, if you enjoy it. Or, like, not even necessarily working in your junk journal, but maybe you're someone that enjoys coloring. There are such amazing coloring books for adults out there these days that is super relaxing. And then you could color a page and maybe stick that in your journal and write a few words. So pretty. I love it. So I just let this dry, and I want to glue this onto another piece of paper since I want to write on the inside and I can't write on this. So I will glue this onto another coffee dyed paper. This one has hearts on it as well, so I think that is very suitable for what I'm doing here. I will just tear around it first so that I know approximately how big the paper needs to be. I don't want to waste this coffee dyed paper. And now I'm going to fold this in half. You see, this half is much bigger than this half, so I think I'm just gonna cut around this half, making this one smaller, and hopefully then that will give me an equal heart. I mean, it should in theory, right? Yep. And there's a heart there. That's cute. Okay. Going back to our journal, of course, if I glue this in here, I'm going to not see this side anymore. I could stitch it in. There's nothing here yet, so I could just stitch it right here by hand, and that way I would still, well, I actually don't even have to stitch it. I could just glue it very thinly, then I could still kind of lift it. I don't know what to do. I mean, the whole thing would be fine as well. What I could, of course, make this into a pocket and then stick something inside. Then this will be lost, but oh well. Kind of like the idea of having this as a pocket. I think the first thing I need to do is ink. I've been watching a few of Gail Augustinelli's video. And if you know her videos, you know that one of the things she says is time to ink and think. And that's so good. I do that too. I procrastinate while inking when I don't know how to move on. Yeah, I totally get what she's saying. But I never thought of saying ink and think, and it's so cute. I do like this. Now I'm just thinking, do I want to doodle on here? I could, right? That would be kind of cute. I could also color it a little bit. I could like use this color again. That would be very harmonious. Don't feel like using any bright colors. I mean, this turquoise would be nice, but I'm not in the mood for bright colors. So I think I might just use this. I'm gonna go check my colors first. I found this color, which is silk purple. And I thought maybe I'll just make it go with this here. I think this is the only like purplish color I have in the whole journal, which is fine because I'm really loving the blues and the gold. So why don't we carry on that color over to the opposite page to kind of make them go together. Wow, this is such a good match. Just gonna put some here. Maybe I'll add some of the jade green as well to some parts. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing, honestly. Maybe I'll just kind of try to fill out some of these, but not going all the way to the edge. I do want to still see the white for some reason. I don't know why. And I'm just gonna take my time and enjoy the actual process of coloring in. Maybe I'll alternate the petal colors with the jade green. I just want to go with whatever I feel like doing at this moment. I have a journal, a personal journal that I write in. I haven't written in that journal for over half a year, because seldom do I feel like just writing, even though it's a beautiful journal and I've done many beautiful collages in that journal. But for some reason, I'm not inspired to just write, meaning I haven't documented things for over half a year, which makes me so sad, especially for someone like me that has such a fish brain, and I'm losing all of the memories. And I want to have these memories, whether it's for good days or bad days. They are part of my life and part of who I am today. And even if I don't go back and read it, I think just the part of writing it down is therapeutic in itself. So hopefully I will do this more often, either off or on camera, and just kind of combine the art with the writing more. I'm really enjoying just coloring. And I think this is something anyone can do, even on a bad day. I mean, I'm not having a bad day, actually. It's just that, as I said, I don't feel confident for some reason. Okay, I'm gonna switch to the jade green. This is a color combination I would never choose, but I'm liking it for right now. I've gone over these twice or even 3 times with the purple, and I think I'm quite happy with this now. And there's some space up here where I could write something, and I just looked up whether I could find a quote about being kind to yourself, and I found one very quickly that reads, "You will never speak to anyone more than you speak to yourself in your head. Be kind to yourself." I really like that, so I'm just gonna write that here. I think I'm ready to just glue this down. I don't know if I'll add some more things or not, but for now I just want to glue this down. Maybe I should make sure this is totally dry before I do that, so I won't smear that. So okay, I think we're good to go. So I'll just glue like this part here so that this top part here stays open. It's really a shame about this paper, but it is what it is. I changed my mind. I could add some faux stitching even all the way around, actually. I think I'm gonna do that. This is also very therapeutic, just making little lines. I could have, of course, taken the whole thing to my sewing machine and sewed around it before I glued it down, but that kind of seemed like a lot of work right now to get out my sewing machine, because it's not something I have just standing on my desk. I have it on a little IKEA cart where I turned the top part of the cart over and screwed it on actually the wrong way around so that I could fit my sewing machine on top, which is super practical because that way I can just wheel it around. But still, I need to I need to wheel it to someplace I can sew and plug it in. And that just seemed like too much maintenance for the state I'm in. Plus, I always talk about how you can do the faux stitching instead of the sewing, and then I actually never do it. So I figure, you know what, just do it. And it does look cute. It simply doesn't have the effect of the texture that you would have if you would actually sew it. But then again, the sewing doesn't have the therapeutic effect that drawing these tiny lines has. I still have this half of the other paper, which also has some hearts on it. So what I could do is I could make a tag that we stick in here, and this would be the front. And then I could mount this onto my beige cardstock, and then I could journal on the back. I think that sounds like a pretty good idea. So I just need to figure out how wide I want this. Maybe like this. And then I guess it will go until here, into the heart. So I could have it be like about this tall. So I'll go trim that down. Let's see if this fits. Oh yeah, that's very nice. Perfect. So then I will glue this onto this, on this side preferably. And by the way, I have a video where I make these kind of coffee dyed papers. I'm not sure if this current video is up before or after that. if it's already up. I mean, the coffee dye video, it's called, I think it's called Pimping Up Your Coffee Dyeing or something like that. If it's up already, I will link it below. If not, then please have a look out for it. I'm sure it won't be long before I will be posting this. Okay, so that worked out really nice. And I'm just going to round the corners with my small corner rounder. I like the kind of small corners this one makes. It's 4 millimeters. I don't know how much that is in inches. Okay, I'm gonna ink this up, of course. I'd like to add some more texture, so I'd like to add some kind of a fabric tab up here. And I found these two. I think both might work with this page. Let's just stick this in here and see. So either this one, like that. I think that would be very cute. Or this one, which I normally would never ever use. But I think it goes well with this page. I mean, this one I feel is more matchy-matchy, which might be too matchy-matchy for me today. I think I might prefer this one. It's just a little different with the colors. Yep, I think I like this one. So I'm just gonna take my pinking shears. I don't want it too wide. Just using my art glitter glue for this. I can already say this is turning out to be really therapeutic, just working on this page. Having no expectations, I'm already starting to feel better. Just because I'm doing something creative, and I feel like I've done something creative today, and that in itself just makes me feel better. Now, do we need any other decoration on the front here? I mean, I love it as it is, but at the same time, I'm wondering if I should just maybe stamp something so that you could still see the hearts, but maybe there could be a motive on the front. I will check my stamps to see if I have anything that might. So I found this one, which would be perfect, of course, because it's a heart, but then I'm thinking it's too many hearts, right? We have it here, we have them here. Stamping another one. Oh, actually what I could do, I could stamp this with a lighter color on the back, and I could still journal over that. I actually love that idea. But for the front, I have something else. So I have this angel, and I used to use this for Christmas. I got this secondhand at a craft flea market. Wow, I miss going to our craft flea market. And I really like the angel because look, she's holding a journal in her hand. So I think she's perfect. So I'm gonna put her right over the two hearts, and let me just move this, and I'll stamp this with my archival ink. Hopefully this is gonna turn out. Yeah, I think this is a good motive for being kind to yourself. And for the heart, I'm going to use sky blue archival ink. It's quite dry already, so hopefully it will actually be visible. Oh yeah, actually, it looks more gray than blue, but it's beautiful. So I will journal over that. Wow, that is quite dark to journal over, actually. Maybe I'll just journal around it. And I'm kind of in a coloring mood, so since I used the archival ink, which won't smudge now when I make it wet, I can use my Neon Color 2 colored what are they called? Wax pastels, water-soluble wax pastels. Actually, I didn't want to use this color. This is too bright yellow. I wanted this beautiful ochre color for her halo here. Love, love, love this ochre. Then the wings, we could maybe make like this metallic blue. I don't know. Let's just give it a try. Don't want them too dark. Yeah, this is good. I'm not worrying about shading or anything. That seems like too much effort right now. I'm just doing solid coloring in. We could make her dress this metallic purple. It's called, oh, it's actually called pink. Isn't that interesting? Looks totally purple. Well, we'll see if it's pink or purple. It's metallic in any case. Yeah, I would say this is purple. I'm sorry. It's not pink. The pages of the journal are obviously coffee dyed. And actually, I don't like that the pages here are empty because I want her to be using her journal. So I'll be writing in that, or make it look like writing. There, that's better, no? I will journal on this off camera. Let's stick this in here. I'm loving the color scheme. In the meantime, it's the next day, and looking at this with fresh eyes, there's a couple more things I want to add here. I think there is too much of this purpley lilac color showing here, which kind of doesn't fit to anything else in the book, and I don't plan on using this color on the other pages. So I think I want to cover some of it up. So I'm going to use my deep gold Van Gogh watercolor to color in some of the areas of this lilac color on the petals. Don't know yet if I'll actually also use it on the blue, but we'll see. I'll just take my water brush. We'll see how well this covers. I might need more than one coat. And I think I'll again just go around. Oh, it's so beautiful. I just love this gold so much. Let me zoom you in close. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So of course, another thing you can do if you don't like your pages from your journal, just walk away, look at it either a few hours later or the next day or a week later or whatever, and then probably you will see what it needs. Most important thing is not to give up on it. Oh, I just love this gold. I'm addicted. I've gone over everything twice and I much prefer this. You can hardly see this purple lilac anymore, just a hint of it, which is great. I will leave the blue ones as they are. I think they're gorgeous. So now I want to do something on this side to kind of cover up some of this purple. And what I did was I used the sheet where I had the paint on, and I just ran it through my die cut machine with these flower shapes. So I thought maybe I can layer a flower with these so that we still have some of those colors showing, but not so intensively. So we could definitely put that, we'll put it here because we have the tassel here. This is something I bought, by the way, in the US like 3 years ago. You could easily make these by hand, but I had to have those. Then I have these, which have the same colors because I just smooshed my scrapped book pages that I had left over from the heart into the paint that I had left over. So now I have these strips to play with as well. So I could somehow add this. Maybe I should glue this together first because this is gonna keep moving and drive me crazy. So let's just do that. And I must say, from today's perspective of how I felt yesterday, I'm so happy I made this page and that I filmed it and that I talked to you, because this way I documented how I was feeling, and I really like having this page now in my journal to, you know, to show what was going on with me yesterday. And I'm liking the way it's turning out, so I'm happy about that. Okay, so this flower is good. Maybe it needs something in the center. Then what do we do with this strip here? It's kind of a weird strip, right? I think I should tear it down a little bit. I also have this strip with this very cool design here, which is from paper dyeing. Just putting some like calligraphy ink on the coffee dyed paper while it was still wet. So I have this left over and it's such a cool design. I think maybe we can add that underneath. Or it might be too much. might be a little bit too much. What if I put it behind the flower? Ooh, that's a cool effect. It is a little bit of a shame to cover up so much of it, but I really love how it comes out from under the flower. Yes, I'm gonna do that. I just need to tear this down a little bit. Yeah, that is cool. We could even turn this into a pocket and then put something in here. I don't know what yet, but that would be nice. Yeah, really like that. So what I will do is I will just glue these down. Sometimes I really think the best things come out of using random scraps that you have from some other project. So then let's just add glue on 3 sides. And then we'll glue down our paper flower. I still need to figure out what to put in the center. Oh, I should have maybe put a circle, half circle here. Let's see if I can still do that. Yes. The cool thing is these punches always have a mark where the half is. So you know exactly how far you have to go in if you can't see it from the bottom. Like I couldn't fit this in upside down. So that is super helpful. I just recently found that out. I have this piece here where I just sewed together 3 fabric scraps and stitched with a zigzag stitch. And I kind of like the idea of cutting a piece of this and putting it in the center of the flower. It's something a little bit different, but why not? Like that. Yep, I like it. What do you think? Just add some more texture. And lastly, I'd like to add another sentiment down here, and I think I want to add it in black. Since I have one in black here, I think that will be a nice balance. And for that, I'm going to use my label maker. I forgot what these are called. Anyway, this is a super cheap one, but it works. And I want to put the sentiment, be brave, because I wanted to encourage me to keep being brave, to try things I haven't tried and to just go for it without having a real plan. But I'm loving how this now turned out in the end, and it was because I was brave and I just did it. I don't know what happened to the bee, but I'm gonna just leave it. I keep forgetting I have this and I think it's so much fun to use. I'm always happy when I find it and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna need to use this in my journal. It's just fun. It's again another texture. Kind of reminds me of the 80s as well. So there's our Be Brave. I'm gonna call this done for now, and I hope this video maybe encouraged you to just work in your journal even when you're not feeling confident enough. Just go and see what happens. I don't think you will regret it. So thank you so much for hanging out with me again today, and I hope to see you back here in the next one. Love you guys. Mwah! Mwah!